Shoah were something you'd expect to find in a museum or in a library on a dusty shelf. Our children today know more about the Rashba and the Ritva than our parents ever did. And there's been a revival of Jewish learning. But the great indictment of us is that while Rome burnt, we could point to ghettos in Lakewood and in Muncie, but let's point to ghettos like Teaneck and Bergen County, like Beverlywood. Let's point to ghettos like the Five Towns. These are supposedly Jews who are engaged in the world, in the sciences and the professions, in all aspects of culture. And the reality is, it's MCI friends and family. And I'm going to be trite for a couple of minutes. If we would stop inviting each other over on the Friday night dinners and only designate Friday night dinners for people who wouldn't be having a Friday night dinner, who wouldn't be lighting candles. I mean, what will they see? They'll come into our home and they'll see a family that sings. No, you're not the Von Traub family singers, but they'll see a family that sings. They'll see 3 generations that can read each other's body language, that there's relevance between grandparents and grandchildren, that are not addicted to technology. And they'll see ideas being discussed. They're blown away by that. Much more than when they come into our synagogues. Because remember, in America, unlike Britain, 80% of those 30 and below cannot read Hebrew. It's not that they just can't read Hebrew. They can't identify what's an aleph and what's a bet. And while we sit here, and we do beat our chests, and we have what to be proud of, the reality is that we are reliving the 10 lost tribes all over again. We're reenacting that moment in history, which was one of the most tragic. Every time we read Parshat Beshalach, V'chamushim alu b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim, the greatest moment in Jewish history, only 20% were transformed. We lost 80% of our people. That's what's happening. We haven't built, because in every city that we build a Holocaust museum, and that we observe Tisha B'Av and Yom HaShoah, we're not building museums to the twice the 6 million that we've killed, without a bullet, without a canister of Zyklon B. We in America, in Canada, in Western Europe, Australia, because we're busy, we're focused on our children, on aging parents, we're focused on financial challenges, and in the meantime, we have become irrelevant to the majority of American Jewry. And that's a terrible indictment on the Orthodox community. I'm not saying that we should become Billy Graham. No one wants to be preached to. No one wants to hear a Jewish version of Billy Graham or Oral Roberts. They're not interested in that. But they are happy to engage in substance. And I'm going to say this not in a patronizing way. I can't tell you how many hundreds of copies of Rabbi Sachs' book. I don't know what it's called in England, but in America it's called A Letter in the Scroll. It was a work that Rabbi Sachs gave as a wedding present to his children. It speaks to American Jews. If you and I speak, we're going to quote Rashi and the Ramban, and the Ramban and Rashi mean something to us. The typical American Jew has never heard of Nachmanides. They've never heard of Rashi. Rabbi Sachs can communicate to them, who are products of Western civilization, in a way that engages them. I mean, something else. Every one of us has relatives, has employees, co-workers, neighbors, who are totally unaffiliated. What does it cost to send their children? What does it cost to send them on a birthright trip? This. Nothing. We can't use our influence to encourage them to participate in a birthright trip. Our challenge in the next generation is being relevant, engaging, and transformative to our brothers and sisters. They were not blessed with a Har Capella Hebrew Academy education. They weren't blessed with a nurturing community. I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen the New Yorker. There was a cartoon. It shows a picture of the following. A man attends a funeral, and he's devastated, he's dumbfounded, because he looks around and there's only one other attendee. And he turns to that attendee, he says, I don't understand. He says, she had 4,000 Facebook friends. And it's tragic, because in a world where there's this superficial notion that, the narcissist, and I'm not against tweeting or Facebook, but that narcissistic tweeting and Facebook, somehow we substitute that for a community. When they come into the Beverlywood, when they come into Beverly Hills, They see when someone gives birth, meals, when there's a shiva, that the whole community is there, that when there's a simcha. You know, in America today, the average wedding is between 116 and 123 people. In an Orthodox community, if you don't have 400 people at a wedding, they think you're antisocial. They think you're a hermit. And this, without preaching, we are responsible. We should never be indicted to say, well, Rome burnt. And that's going to be our challenge, as Chief Rabbi Sachs articulated. That's our challenge moving forward.